when I think about what it means to be a Black librarian, is what does it mean to show up, to represent that we have a place in these institutions. And we know that there are students in those institutions who are struggling and need to see people who look like us and who understand what they're going through, their experience. And that also goes for the faculty and staff in those institutions, because often they're also kind of struggling to find their place in those institutions. So that's what stands out to me.
It was interesting. Like, I wanted to be a librarian, but I didn't have any like role models in elementary school or high school. So interesting. I even thought it was a path for me.
Because it's a profession that is overwhelmingly white and overwhelmingly female, that it's really important that we have a say in the types of books that our libraries carry. Again, the types of resources that we're able to offer. And quite frankly, no one can tell our story but us. No one can articulate some of the things that are important to us but us. Now, we can have allies and we can have folks that understand some of our community issues and some of the things that we want to address and some of the things that we want to see in terms of access to services and resources, but no one is better suited or better positioned to do that for us than us. And so it's important that we're in these spaces, and it's important that we understand library and information services as a career path and what that entails.
Being a Black librarian is somewhat of a challenge. Having been in the business for 30 plus years, I think the idea of when you interact with library customers, library patrons, do they see you as staff first or as a Black librarian first? So I think that's one of the things that that I'm always facing. I think the other thing regarding being a Black librarian, and I don't go around saying, hey, I'm Black and I'm proud because I'm a Black librarian, but the idea of making sure that, again, access to the resources of the library are there for everyone. And so more so, my job as a Black librarian is making sure that people of color, all colors, therefore all human beings, are welcome in the library, that we provide the same level of customer service to them, and we let them know about all of the resources, from our staff knowledge of the collection to their knowledge of the community.
It means oftentimes you won't see a lot of people that look like you in the field. So you kind of have to go to conferences or seek out other organizations and other types of agencies to kind of find people that look like you. But I think it's important to also be in that space, even though it may not be a lot of us, so the people that we're helping can see that there are people like us that look like them that can help them out.
It means that there's a community that you can engage with, but it also means that you face a lot of uphill struggles of misunderstandings and just working extra hard to succeed.
Oh, it means that you have to work twice as hard as your non-minority counterparts. It means that you have a camaraderie with people like yourselves. We kind of really look out for each other and we really try to take care of each other. But I can be honest to say it is a struggle. It's a struggle that people will respect you to get the same amount of respect that others are in the field that are a different color.
Oh, I think it means to be an anomaly a little bit, maybe to be an enigma, but it also means that you will be challenged and tested, and you really, I believe, have to have a good amount of fortitude to continue on in this profession. It still has a ways to go as far as race relations are concerned, but there's so much, right? So we can, like this big life cycle of information that librarians control, and it's really controlled by like a subset of the population. And I think we really need to continue to do, I know we're all doing things, trying to recruit and promote and see what we can do about retention, but it's just not enough. And so it continues to be, to me, for me, a trying profession, one that really tests some levels of perseverance for me.
That to be a Black librarian is to hopefully be somebody who can inform these libraries on the issues that Black people face and the needs that Black people have. And then we can tailor our services, collections, and other things to serving our Black populations.
To be an effective Black librarian, it means to advocate and represent our communities, the communities that we serve, and the communities that we represent. To advocate for programs, for books, for audio books, databases, you name it.
There's a value in having Black librarians a part of your library. That's what I would say.
To me, it means that it's me being a role model and showing especially Black and brown people that they have access to everything everyone else does.
We not only know how to recommend and give advice on what to read, but we know how to catalog. We know how to select materials. We know how to create book lists that are relevant to our community. We know how to program. We know how to put together these great programs. We know how to survey our community and find out the things that are meaningful to them. But we are also able to do that from a cultural standpoint as Black people in this community. And oftentimes we get overlooked in that arena.
And so I think that I don't always walk around thinking about being a Black librarian. And I certainly don't operate from the idea that because I'm a Black librarian, I have to make sure that everything I do is quote unquote related to my culture. But I do believe that I need to represent, as a Black male librarian, the idea of someone who is capable and able to help others use those resources and to make sure and pave a way that there is no question about what we're doing and who we're doing it for, and that's everybody.
Really being able to open up a different world for some people, because so often our life is really restricted by what we see around us, and I think the access to information is something that can free everyone.
I think being a Black librarian in this society, in this country, means that we have made it and that we are of value in this profession.